Howdy doodly doo, howdy doodly doo. I had my volume turned off. I always forget that I mute my volume for when the music is going. Uh, that's how you know I don't do this as often anymore. That's for sure. How are you guys doing? I'll just make sure you see. We've already got quite a few people in the stream by the looks of it. That's pretty good to see. Dan Michael, Dan. I can't pronounce your last name. Jedredjik. That's a guess. Jedredjik. Gonna guess it's how you pronounce it, but let me know if I'm wrong. I'm probably way off. Teresa Cobb. Hey Teresa, thank you for tuning in. Against All Odds Productions presents. I think you've seen you in the chat before. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I have. Anyway, and I believe I saw Bill Russell in there. Bill Russell. Hey, Bill. Bill is in our film. Bill plays professor in our film. So thank you guys all for tuning in. Dan says, I look forward to hearing what you have to say, Steve. Hope you are having a great night. I am having a wonderful night. Wonderful night. I gotta say. Man, oh man, we dropped a new perk today in our Indiegogo campaign. And I thought, hey, nobody's buying the screen used stuff like they did on the SAWYER Massacre. Well, this one sold. This one sold within hours, so I was really happy that somebody got that. I really do hope somebody gets that painting, though. But at the same time, I won't be heartbroken because I'll keep the painting if nobody buys it, Painting, the official screen use painting, which I have up in my cupboard up there, wrapped up and everything like that. All good to go. Signed by the artist herself, Margot Wex. Plays a prominent role in our movie. That's all I'll say. But it's an awesome painting. You've seen it in the trailers and all that, and you can see it on our Indiegogo campaign. And you can still get that perk if you want it. Anyways, guys, sorry, that's what Dan said. I'm getting off talking about. I'm already talking about the Indiegogo campaign. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but I want to read everybody's comments. Teresa Cobb says, looking forward to the chat as well. Against All Odds Productions says, currently watching H2 1981, so you're going to be right up to speed. It's actually been a few months since I last saw this, but I did see this a few months ago, and I gotta say, I got some thoughts. And I've seen a lot of comments online, so we'll get to that. Teresa Cobb says, nice. I couldn't find it anywhere, not for free. Yeah, probably not for free. I imagine you won't get that for free on YouTube. You can get you can see clips and stuff, I imagine, but yeah. $3.79 on Prime says against all odds productions. Nice. Bill Russell says he's here. Party. There it is. Party time. Hell yeah. Hey, such a killer opening. Hey, meet my. Yeah, that is the track Sequandaland Part 3. Sequandaland Part 3. It's part 3 of a 4-part epic song that's over 30 minutes long that I wrote, and I needed something kind of upbeat sounding for my intro for this show, and I've just always used that. I've used that since I started doing this show. 86 episodes into this show, I still use that section of the song. My fabulous guitar playing. I'm sure the guitar playing sounds better than it actually is, but I'm not the greatest lead guitar player. I'm a pretty good rhythm guitar player. The rhythm chops, that kind of stuff doesn't take me too long to get down, but the guitar solos, man, it takes me a long time. I do section by section, and I really compose them when I write guitar solos. I really try to make sure that the whole thing fits together and feels like it's really creating a melody. So some people just wing it. Me, I think about what I want to do section by section, and then it ends up taking me hours because I'm such a stickler. But I always wonder how well I'd be able to pull off a solo like that live. Probably not that well. And that's actually not my most complex guitar solo. And I'm like, geez, if I ever try to play some of these solos live, I'll look bad because I just know I couldn't really pull them off live, But anyways, I try. Where was I here? Dan says, that's good, thank you. Against All Odds Productions, Jeff M here. Jeff M. Hey, Jeff. How you doing, Jeff? Yes, that's why I knew Against All Odds Productions presents. I would have thought it would have been the I Sell Dead People's Things thing, but I think that's... it makes sense to have your YouTube channel name something else. But I get confused. But I know I've seen you before in the chat. That's great that it's sold. And there's Joel Broussard, the man of the hour. Whoop! Yes, Joel. And you're going to be featured on this show. So you get ready to do on the... You're going to do an open... what do you call it? An opening or unboxing. Unboxing on this show. So there you go. Fingers crossed. Hey, our buddy, a new promotion, Vintage Films. That's Pupadas. I'm here, my dear friend. Yes, I'm glad you are here. So glad you're here. So glad all of you guys are here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Today was a great day in our Indiegogo campaign. As I mentioned earlier, our Indiegogo campaign is still going on. There's still a few great perks available. However, I mentioned I did a live stream both on Instagram and Facebook yesterday. I did Facebook, Instagram live stream just to let you all know that some of these perks are going to be leaving the campaign tomorrow night at midnight. Or around there sometime. And the reason being is Bayview Entertainment needs our final opening credits and they need the final film, basically. They need a final product with all the names that we have. So we have to get that to them. And so this will be your last chance to really get your name in the film in any way, whether you just want a special thanks, or if you do want an associate producer or executive producer. Thank you, Joel. Again, you're awesome. Yeah, comb your beard for the... Make sure you're not... I shaved mine for this show. It was growing out pretty bad. I don't usually like to do beards in the summertime, as they just... It hasn't been overly hot here, though. I gotta say, it's not been the hottest summer we've ever had, that's for sure. Just kind of nice. I'm glad it's not too hot. We've had a couple days where it's like, no, that's pretty hot. But overall, it hasn't been too hot. And I'm kind of happy about that. So, I shaved the beard. I just hadn't shaved the beard. I hadn't shaved for at least a good, I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. It was coming in like a real beard, and I usually don't like that in the summertime. So I finally shaved today, thank God. Feel nice and fresh for you. Like you guys care. Yeah. Where was I here? I love doing this show. I love talking to you guys. Yeah, same guys, yeah, there you go. I think we've more or less caught up in the chat. That's pretty good. But yes, some of those perks are on the Indiegogo campaign are coming down simply because we need to get the movie to the distributor. They need it. And we got to give it to them. So because obviously the special thanks has to come down. However, we could do it so that it's an IMDb special thanks at a lower price, so anybody who does want to get that still can get it. We're over halfway funded in our Indiegogo campaign, so that's great. Wasn't even expecting to raise that much. So it's pretty awesome that we did. And thank you to everybody who supported. I know a lot of you are in the chat right now. A lot of you that supported the movie over the last 2+ years to make this thing a reality and get us a good distribution deal and everything like that. You're in the chat, and I just can't thank you guys enough. So I can't say enough. It warms my heart, you know. I understood it more on the Sawyer Massacre because, you know, that was an IP that everybody knew and loved, and the fact that I was going to Texas to make the movie definitely made people want to jump on board. especially since the studios aren't even filming them in Texas, you know. And here I am, a guy from Canada, saying I'm gonna go to Texas, and you know, and I first started promoting it that way. It was kind of, yeah, right. Am I really gonna go to Texas? But you know, I did. I wasn't sure I would ever raise enough to shoot the movie in Texas, but man, you guys that supported reached out, and you guys all told me this movie's got to get made in Texas, and it did. So you know, but with that movie, I thought, you know, that made sense that that I raised a decent amount, and we had good concept trailer and stuff for that as well. And I've been pretty good with stuff like that. It's one thing I've good at. I think the concept trailer we had for Unseen was really good too. I think we did a great job with it. It just captured the feel, but it's an original film. And, you know, some people aren't, you know, fan films and original films are totally different. So, I didn't know what to expect. And you guys told me that, we want more from you, Steve. So that's what I love about this, you know. You guys are still supporting me after all this time. Warms my heart that you guys believe in me, that we were able to raise as much money for this movie as we did. Obviously, I wish I could raise more, but you know, it's the way it is. You know, it's tough to do that. I'm not a professional fundraiser by any means. I've learned a few things, but at the same time, I've pretty much done this all myself. I know a lot of people hire professionals to run their Indiegogos, and I get that, and I considered it many times, but you know, I don't know. I'm stubborn that way, I guess. I want control. I love having control, damn it. That's why I don't want to sell my movies to the studios or anything like that. Because I want the control. And I'm just really stubborn. I also, before we start getting into the Halloween discussion, I promise we're going to get into that. I know we're already 6:15, but I also want to let you guys know that I am thinking we're probably going to, in the future, we're going to leave the in-demand campaign up, which is, you know, it's still got some perks on it, but we're going to probably sell tickets on that campaign for premieres. I say premieres because I think I'm going to try to do multiple premieres. Obviously, I'm going to try to do one here in Canada. We'll see what the demand is like. I'd probably have to go to Vancouver to do it, but that's okay. Probably going to do one in LA, maybe even Las Vegas. We talked about this on the last show with Doug Vermeeren, who's plays the news reporter Destry Webster in our film. So we're looking at that, and I kind of want to do one on the East Coast somewhere. We'll see. Bayview's based out of New Jersey area, so it's possible we could do something around there. It's just expensive for me to get there. That's all. You know, it's expensive for me to get to LA though too. So no matter what, I have to. I want to be at premieres. So back to Texas, man. Joel. I don't know. Like I would definitely want to go back to Texas. So I bet I would sell out there. That's the thing, you know. I bet I would probably sell the tickets there because I got such amazing supporters in Texas. Are you in Texas, Joel? I forgot to ask you that. I can't remember if we chatted where you're from or not, but if you are from Texas, come on out. We'll definitely do a premiere there if you are. Hey fam, it's Christian. Hey there, new name, huh? The man in the mask. Let's see this mask. Sawyer Massacre Part 2 says Pupudas. Probably not. Probably. I just and I've had a few people ask me about that, but I don't know, man. I just think I'm done with fan films. But anyways, I just want to hear from you guys. Would you guys be open to getting tickets to a premiere in anywhere in the States? And if so, where would you want me to do the premiere? Again, we have connections in the LA area and the Vegas area, so those are probably very, very likely areas that we would do it. But oh, sorry, I keep bumping this is on and it shakes. So sorry if it gets shaky there, guys. I'll try to not bump it, but I do that sometimes. Anyways. Sawyer Massacre Part 2. I know everybody so many people want that, but I just got so many original films I want to do. Unseen was kind of a priority film. It was like I have to do this film, but I've got a lot of other film scripts that are unfinished, and I want to finish them up, and I want to get making them because there's some really great ideas there. And there's our buddy Joe Lawrence from More Sense Designs. Hey, buddy. Oh, sorry, wrong one. There we go. There's Joe's logo. He does all our graphic stuff. He made this for us. And by the way, in case you guys are wondering who this is in the blinds, that is Katerina Krimova, who plays Jessica in our film. Wonderful, wonderful actress. She's Russian. I never expected to cast a Russian in this role, but she just knocked it out of the park. And I loved it. Loved everything she did. So that's how we roll. Let's read you guys' chats a little bit. Christian says, "How you been?" I've been doing great, man. The Against All Odds Productions presents the Smod Castle in New Jersey. Okay, he knows the venue. I am definitely open to venue suggestions, that's for sure. Because I think we're probably going to sell tickets. We did that when we did the SAWYER Massacre premiere. The difference, why we haven't sold tickets on the new campaign or anything like I thought we might at one point, or even was trying to kind of do. Reason why we haven't is we just don't have anything booked. We just haven't been able to book anything. And we just haven't had time to book anything because, I mean, this whole distribution thing has been a lot of work. There's been a lot of moving parts into it. So, you know, that's why, but we'll definitely be getting going on that probably after this campaign is over. I don't, even if this campaign did hit its goal and went into demand, we probably won't leave it up. We'll probably go back since the old campaigns got already in demand and it's got lots of traction. We'll probably leave that one up, just take all the perks off and sell tickets on there. Does that sound like something you guys might be interested in? We do VIP tickets and regular tickets, so you have your choice. Just depends. I mean, everybody's all over the place, but you know, if you are in Louisiana, would you drive down to Austin, Texas to catch this movie in a premiere? If you're out in what's a good, I don't want to say I'm Canadian. I don't know the U.S. that well, but you know, you were in Seattle. Would you come down to Vegas to? I don't know. It's a bit of a drive, I imagine. But you know, if you're in Portland, well, even Portland's still a bit of a drive, I think, to Vegas. But you know, what's close to Vegas? L.A. Hey, I mean, I should probably really only do a premiere in one of those places because both of those are pretty close to each other. Joel Broussard, Louisiana. There you go. Hey, you'd drive to Austin. There you go. I mean, one of our cast members did. One of our cast members from SAWYER Massacre was from Louisiana, so there you go. How about creating a perk like only 5 spots to get a digital link for the premiere? A digital premiere. Do a digital premiere. That's something I could do. I might do that. That's actually a really good suggestion, Poopados. Poopal. I'm in CTR. I don't know what that means. So Jersey is cool, and I've set up other films there. Oh, there you go. There you go. Awesome. Let's. Can you sell us tickets? That's the question, Jeff. Can you sell tickets to people? Again, they'll be on our Indiegogo campaign, so I'm usually pretty good at selling tickets when it comes to that. And again, it's close to. That's where Bayview is based out of, is in New Jersey. So I imagine they won't have a hard time selling tickets. It's just going to be expensive for me to fly, so it'd have to sell out. These venues would have to sell out. That's the long and short of it. We have to sell out these venues so that they not only pay for the venues, but pay for people like me to come out. Maybe people like Bill Russell would probably come to New Jersey. I'm guessing. Because he's not. I don't think Bill's too far away from New Jersey. I mean, it's probably a bit of a drive, but you know, maybe. Uh, the Man in the Mask. Did you get the idea for Unseen from Black Christmas? Definitely parts of it. It's definitely got a lot of odes to Black Christmas. Atmosphere wise, definitely. The idea of a killer you never see, definitely. Definitely very different killers, though. I will say that the killer in Unseen is very different than the killer in Black Christmas. But you know, our killer does. I would say our killer is inspired in some ways by Black. I don't want to spoil anything. So inspired in some ways by Black Christmas, but I won't say what. Because again, you guys got to see it. It's I'm not going to spoil this movie for you guys. Or try not to anyways. Anyways, guys, what's in the box? Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you like to know? And you're going to know. No, a bit. Well, Joel's going to know first. Joel's going to get to know what's in that box first. I know, and a lot of people that worked on the film know. Not everybody knows what's in the box, though. Not everybody that worked on the film actually knows. We kept that thing pretty secret from a lot of people. But it's something pretty cool, and it was made by the awesome SFX artist Thomas Smith of Sick and Twisted Effects. Cost me a pretty penny, by the way, but you know, it's what you got to do for film. We needed this thing, so there you go. We absolutely had to have it, and I just said, you know, I don't mind if we sell it for a little less than I paid for it on the Indiegogo campaign, and thankfully, now I'm like, it sold so quickly. Now I'm wondering if I should have sold it for at least what I paid for it, but no, it's okay. It's because it's never been about that. Obviously, I'm glad I more or less covered it, and you know, with how well we've done, I can say my legal fees are paid for now. They're all paid for. I mean, they were paid for before, but you know, this campaign has covered those legal fees at the end of the day. But because we had to hire a lawyer to get the distribution deal, sort of thing, to make sure we got a good distribution deal. Make sense? A lot of ins and outs. Okay, let's start talking about Halloween 2 a little bit here, guys. So, I want to start by saying Halloween 2 used to be my favorite sequel. Is it your favorite sequel in the franchise? Is Halloween 2 your favorite sequel in the Halloween franchise? I know it's a lot of people's favorite. And it used to be my favorite. It's not anymore. It's one, I will admit, it's come down for me over the years. It's come down for me. I still really like it, though. I still really like it. And I've said several times on this show, Halloween is my favorite franchise, horror movie franchise. To me, the first 4 films in the franchise are all really good, are all great. I would say great. And, you know, the original is easily my favorite, but and it's one of the greatest horror films ever made, in my opinion. I have it ranked number 3 on my all-time favorite horror list after Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas, which I'm sure makes sense to most of you. I made a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film, and I made Unseen, which is pretty heavily inspired by Black Christmas. It is also inspired by Halloween, though, too. There's a lot of Halloween-y kind of things in this movie, too. And you'll probably pick up on some of that. A little bit of the music kind of is reminiscent of John Carpenter's score in Halloween. Just so you know, it's not a ripoff or anything like that, but some of the score definitely has John Carpenter vibes in Unseen. I'll just say that. But yeah, is it your favorite? Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Halloween 2, 1981, favorite because it continues the story of 78. That it does. Let's see if anybody else has got... I think outside the box again. That box... Well, that's going to be interesting. Teresa Cobb says, the third one I know does not have Michael, but I do enjoy that one too. I actually really do as well. In fact, that one, it used to be one I didn't like when I was a kid. I think that was the very first Halloween movie I ever saw. And I grew up watching, seeing the commercials for Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, when that came out, but way back in 1988. And I was just 1 year old. No, dating myself a bit here, guys. But I remember seeing that commercial. That was the TV spots for that movie. And this is the first I was ever hearing of the Halloween franchise, and I just remember seeing how spooky Michael Myers looked to me. Anyways, of course, and now a lot of people don't like that mask from Halloween 4. I still love it, actually, though. I still look at that mask and say, hey, it's creepy. Yes, it doesn't look like the original, but it still looks creepy to me. But then I saw Halloween 3. I think it was about 11 when I saw Halloween 3. It came on Halloween night of, whatever year that was, 1983, because I was 11 years old. Or, sorry, I mean 99, because I was 11. I don't know. I've derailed. But anyways, I saw that. I don't think we saw it from the very beginning. That was a problem too. But we saw most of the movie, and it was like, where's this Michael Myers guy? What's going on in this movie? We didn't know what the heck was going on. And so back then I really hated that movie. But then, as I got older, I remember giving it a chance in my early 20s and watching it again. I thought, well, this movie's actually pretty good. It's not a bad movie. Thinking it's not bad. And the more and more I watched that movie, the more and more I liked it, and it became my second favorite in the franchise. So, just so you guys know. But again, Halloween 2 used to be my number 2. Let's see what you guys are saying here, so I don't want to miss your guys' comments. Joe of More Sense Designs Graphics says, one of those movies that holds up against the OG instant classics, but love them all. I don't love them all, that's for sure. I think after Halloween 4, the series really took a downturn, unfortunately. But, for me, it did anyways. I know some people like a lot of the new ones, and, Man in the Mask, I used to hate H3, H209, but now loving them all. Oh, yeah, that's all good. I still don't like H2 2009. I can't even bring myself to rewatch the movie. I saw that a couple years after it came out, I think, on Netflix. And I was like, what the hell is this garbage? What the hell is this? What do they do to Loomis? What the frick is with this horse and this white horse and all this weird... That was just not my cup of tea. But anyways, I like this comment right here. I wish I could post these on the screen, but I can only do that with StreamYard. That's one thing I don't like about using strictly OBS, but for me, the picture quality and the sound quality, I just prefer to use OBS. But Dan here says, I want to see Bill D. Russell portray Dr. Loomis in many more fan films. I want to see him. I want to, not even fan films, I think he should audition for a real movie. But I don't know if they'd make another movie with Loomis in it, but I don't know. But fan films, whatever. Get Bill Russell to do it. He's awesome. Howling 2 is unhinged. The end credits worth it, in my opinion. Stop, Michael. Joe from More Sense Designs Graphics says, if you liked Halloween 3, check out the third channel. Oh, yes. We got to do a shout out for Michelle. Oh, the third channel. There you go. Shout out to Michelle Blasky, the third channel. Joe did this poster, by the way. Great job on the poster and the logo. That might be your best logo that you've done, Joe. Just saying. That might be your best logo. I love the stuff you did for me with Unseen and the Sawyer Massacre logo. I think you did great on those too. But man, that logo for the third channel is just off the chain. Yeah, love it. Just saying. Great work, though. What else we got? What horror movie do you remember that scared you as a kid? That scared me as... You know what? There was a few different ones, but I don't remember the names. Not even sure if I ever knew the names Uh, I don't know. Sometimes when I was a little kid, I would just sneak downstairs to the basement and start watching TV because I couldn't sleep. And really shouldn't have been doing that, but my parents didn't hear me, so I'd watch TV, and sometimes I would see random stuff on TV. And I remember one, maybe you guys will know this, but there was one where there was these people, and all of a sudden they started just tearing their faces and skin off, and they become like some sort of monsters or something. And I just remember that terrified me as a kid. No idea what it was, but probably it would have been an '80s film for sure, early '80s for sure. But if any of you guys have any idea in the comments what that would be, put it in the comments and let me know. I almost want to check it out now to see if it's we're talking over 40 years ago here, so I'm not as young as I look. I've derailed. But anyways, guys, thank you all for sharing your comments on that. I'd be interested to know if anybody has any idea what movie that was. I don't know. There was I can't really remember. I remember there was some main characters like running away and stuff like that. And then I just remember this part where there was I think there was 4 or 5 guys in business, kind of like the robots in Halloween 3. Kind of, but they would start tearing their faces off, and I don't know, they turned into some sort of weird monsters or something. And I just remember that really freaked the hell out of me. Just saying. Anyways, I want to get into some of the reasons why I think Halloween 2 has come down for me over the years, and I really decided to do this because I've seen so many people in social media say something similar to who made that comment earlier. I can't remember who it was. So Jeff McCarthy, Halloween 2, 81 favorite because it continues the story of 78. It does continue the story, and I've heard a lot of people say this about it, that you could watch the two back to back and they seem seamless together. And that is something I've tried to do many, many times, even when I used to love it, when I used to be my second favorite in the franchise. But I can't help but watch the original Halloween 1978 and then go right into Halloween 2. And I remember this is back when VHS was still a thing. You guys even know what VHS is? But back when VHS was a thing, I would put the Halloween 2 video in the player and just stop it right before Loomis comes out the door in the beginning of Halloween 2, right before it comes out of the door. So I would watch Halloween 1 all the way to the end and get all to those anchors, and then I would skip all the intro, the rehash stuff of Halloween 2, because it really is just a rehash, just showing everything that happened in the original Halloween. And I'd do it there, and I would, after finishing Halloween, the first Halloween, I'd pop in the next tape and it'd pick up right with Loomis coming out the door. And it always seems off. I think that very first scene might be the biggest problem I have with Halloween 2. There's multiple issues, and I'm gonna explain why. I wanted to do this because I've heard people talk about this, and they say how seamless it is, and it just, you watch them both together, it's a perfect scene. I'm like, it's not though. It's not. There are some major issues here, and I'm gonna show you guys some images here. You guys ready for some images? I'm gonna show you some images. I know there's latency in the chat, so I'm not gonna see you guys say yeah. So anyways, this here is the last shot of when Loomis is looking down at the lawn in Halloween 1978. So this is, Michael's disappeared. Michael was there and now he's disappeared. So we can see this lawn. There's an old rickety tree there. And there's, the grass is not growing in most of it. It's very kind of rugged looking, more dirt than grass, I would say. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? Okay. Well, this is the shot we see of Loomis coming out after he's come out the door, and he's looking to the spot where Michael fell. Oh. Okay, so do you guys see what I'm saying here? First off, this is jarring to me, guys. Like this, and I don't want to sound like I'm absolutely shitting on Halloween 2 here. I'm not. I still really like the film. I'm going to talk about all the stuff I really like about the film, but this is kind of jarring right here. This shot seems completely out of place, and it does not match what we saw in the original at all. I know it's a different angle. I get that. It's a different angle, and you could perceive things different from a different angle. But man, the grass in this is full. It's full, and is there even a tree there? Let's go back. I mean, it's maybe there isn't a behind. I don't know. But the fact and this imprint of of where he fell is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is one of the most ridiculous things, and it sets the tone for this movie. I think that's it's probably the biggest flaw of the movie. Well, there's a few other flaws, and I'm sure that and I'll talk about those as well. But briefly, to me, that's the biggest one, the biggest flaw. Another thing, though, besides that, and I'll be interested to see your comments, is, man, you could just tell this movie wasn't directed by John Carpenter. I can't even tell it was written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, who wrote the first one, because a lot of the dialogue just it's not matching up very well. It's not. Again, maybe that has to do a little bit with the actors and the director. I think that really shows for me. Anyways, I don't want to ignore your guys' comments, so I probably missed a few. Let's see here. I don't know. Against All Odds Productions presents. Are you talking about the 1986 film Annihilator? It's possible. 86 seems a little late. Like, I feel like maybe I saw that in 1986 or even earlier, and for it to be on TV I don't know. It's possible, but I don't know. Again, I'm going back a long time, a long way in time. There's no way I would have seen that later than 87. No way. There's just no way that would have happened. So I'll check it out. Annihilator. I'll look it up and see if it looks right to me. But I would think it would be a little older than that. I would think. I feel like I was 5 or 6. I may have been 7. I might have been 7. I was born in 1980, guys. I'm old. But I don't care. I don't care. So anyways, let's get on to what you guys are thinking with this shot here. Oops, sorry. I did something. Actually, I wonder if this can pin message? Oh, no, that's pin. I was wondering if you can actually put the... No, you can't. You can't do that like you can in StreamYard. Anyways, Joe says, thank you, sir. It's been a dream come true to create logo. Oh, I know. Yeah. And he mentioned something else we're going to talk about in there. More shots for one. Against All Odds Productions presents Loomis was drunk. He did see, you know what? Loomis did seem more drunk. I'll say that. He was more unhinged in part 2. Oh, wow, man. Did you guys notice, like, I feel like I'm the only one that's ever talked about that, the comparison of those two shots. I've never seen anybody online saying, oh my God, look how different those two shots are. I mean, it's not the shots, it's like, it's the setting. The grass is not, it's not a nicely kept grass, and there's a tree, and there's rocks, and there's, and there's no imprint of Michael in the where Michael's body was in the grass, in the ground, anywhere. It's just not there. Michael fell in the front yard. In 78, it was the backyard. That makes sense. And I could see that. They should have tried to pass it off as that. But they didn't. And I know that they were using the same location. So I get it. So that's... But have him come out the back then. There's no reason why he shouldn't. If it's a backyard that he fell into, and it's gonna look the same, it might not have, that could be another reason though too. It might not have looked the same. It was 3-year difference. They probably made change. It's probably changed over the years. Maybe the grass has come in 3 years, right? So these are the kinds of things that big budget studios, it shouldn't be a big problem for them to make it look the same. Set construction when it's not, I know this wasn't a huge budget back in the early 80s, but to me that they phoned that in. That was definitely phoned in, and it shows, in my opinion. Did his punishment have Ambimprish? I can't even pronounce it. Ambimpression? I don't know. We're seeing this through his glazed glare. That could be it. Oh, there's our buddy John Henderson from Doomsday Script. Hey, buddy, thanks for tuning in. The Evil Remains. Michael, this is Against All Odds Productions present. Michael must have touched the green crap from the guy from Creep Show, and that's why the crap grew so well. Yeah, Stephen King was. I know Carpenter was so disappointed. He did all the kill reshoots, then made them siblings for. Yeah, I know. Carpenter has said in interviews that he didn't know what else to do as far as make it sequel worthy than make them siblings. So it's gotta have some sort of twist in there for a sequel, right? So that was like the best he could think of, and that's it's definitely not as well written as the first Halloween is. That's pretty clear, and I think we know, you can get a sense from Carpenter why it's not as well written. Google it though. It has some face smashing robots. I will have to. I'll definitely check that out, man. Poopo Da says John Carpenter didn't like the first cut of Halloween 2. He wanted many shots to be reshot. Yeah, I can imagine. To think that the director of Halloween 2 went on to direct one of the other Halloween. I can't remember which one. May have been Resurrection. I don't know. That wasn't an improvement for him, if that's the case. I think it was. It could be wrong though. It could have been like Halloween 6 or something too. Creepshow, yeah. Oh, it's our buddy Brian Wolf, the official SoCal Leatherface YouTube channel. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Brian. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you are doing well, sir. The setting is all effed up, no continuity. The gnarled tree is, yeah. There's a lot that bothers me about that, and I think if they would have, if that opening scene was better, it probably would have jived together more for me. But since that opening scene is so off, watching the two films back to back gets kind of ruined for me. And it's not even just that. I got another thing I want to show you guys here. And the funny thing is, okay, it was a different director, but you still had Dean Cundey as your cinematographer. Now, I have some theories on to why the lighting and the colors. I mean, it obviously wasn't colored by him, by Dean Cundey. It was colored by a colorist, and the colors don't quite match. And I'll show you here, because here's a shot of, this is the shot from Halloween 1 of Laurie Strode looking for her keys to get back in the house while Michael Myers is coming after her. Right? Remember, that's iconic. The way Nick Castle walks across that street is just like he's motivated to get this gal, and the way he walks just so, I don't know, the flow is great. Anyways, the point is, this is what it looks like. And again, I know I'm going to show you a different angle, but this is once again Loomis when he comes out of the house in Halloween 2. It's pretty drastically different. Now you could say, oh, the lights are on here. Well, the lights are on in the first shot too, guys. You can see the one, we only can see one of the lights, but it's on. You can clearly see that it's on. And it's, you know, it's not like the lighting's going to change much at night, right? So now, again, my reasoning for this would simply be, you know, the change of the times. You know, technology is changing and all that kind of stuff as time goes on. And over a few years, you're going to have better cameras, you're going to have better lighting, and again, a different colorist too. And the thing is, back then you didn't have all the same color grading and stuff that you do now, where you could try to really match stuff up really close. They probably shot Halloween 2 on different cameras than they did Halloween 1. Because again, technology is getting better, and you gotta get better quality cameras, you know. And I imagine they shot the first Halloween on not a great camera, because they had an extremely tiny budget, $300,000 budget. You know, I mean, it's not like one of my budgets, but you know, and when you take inflation into factor, then it's holy crap, it's not even close. But you get it though, right? It makes more sense that way. And again, Dean Cundy was the cinematographer. There is still, I mean, you can see when you look at that again, you look at this one, it's still got a lot of that bluish lighting to it. But those lights, man, they really pop that orange out. And yeah, I don't know. That to me is it was definitely, I feel like it was either lit quite a bit differently, but I don't think Dean Cundy would do that. But again, a director's going to say what he wants, so it could have been the director of Halloween 2 saying what he wants. Could be. Who knows? I don't have the answer. I just know that it looks quite a bit different. It has a different look. So again, when you go from Halloween 78 to that, it is a bit jarring. I don't think that's as jarring as the lawn. I think the lawn is probably the most jarring thing for me. There's also the wig that Jamie Lee Curtis is wearing. It's not a very good wig. It doesn't do the job well enough, in my opinion. You would think they would have better wigs, but I don't know. I don't think they did. So, anyways, I mean, there's other. I mean, we could talk about the mask too. Okay, I know it's the same mask, but it looks different. It doesn't look like the same. Everybody bitches about the mask from Halloween 4 looking so different, saying how much they hate it. But at least that mask was supposed to be a different mask. It was not supposed to be the same mask. Here you do have the same mask, but it looks like it's aged by 3 years in a matter of minutes, you know, if you try to watch them. And because it aged 3 years under a mattress, and it was under Deborah Hill's mattress, I've been told. And I heard that she was a heavy chain smoker back then, and she smoked like crazy. And, you know, I don't know. I heard all kinds of stuff on why that mask got ruined. And it is what it is. Plus, there's the fact that the person they cast as the Shape, Dick Warlock, had a different head shape than Nick Castle did. So, I mean, all these are factors, you know. All these are factors in that mask. I would say the performance of Dick Warlock, hey, I got nothing against it. It's not Nick Castle, though, either. That's another... These are the... I'm nitpicking at this point, guys, but I hope I don't sound like I hate the film. I don't hate the film. I do really, really like Halloween 2, but I gotta point out the obvious flaws. And one more flaw. Sorry, and one more flaw, and I will not talk about flaws in this film anymore, unless you guys want to talk about flaws. Because again, I do really like it, but you know, things that bring it down. That cat jumping out of that dumpster for the cheap jump scare. Man, I really hate those. I really hate jump scares like that. That was a scene where, what's his name, Mr. Garrett, the security guy, was looking for, wire the phone lines down or whatever, right? And, I like this, a lot of the suspense that's built up in that scene, but that sort of Jack in the Box jump scare where it's nothing and you're like, oh, it's just a cat. I really hate those. And it feels unnecessary to me. It feels like they're just filling time at this point. And they could have still had a good amount of suspense in that scene without that, in my opinion. So that's all I will say for flaws. I don't hate the film, guys. I promise I don't hate the film. I didn't like the siblings. You know what? I could take it or leave it, but I wish they would have found something better to do with it. I wish they would have found something better than that. But yeah, you're right. I don't like that. The setting is all no continuity. Yeah, we already talked about that. Halloween 4 is so twistedly brilliant, but it's so underrated. I don't know. I don't know if it's underrated. It's gotten appreciated. I mean, I do still like the mask. I'm sorry to all you Halloween 4 mask haters. I see so many comments online saying how much they hate the Halloween 4 mask. And maybe it's nostalgia for me because that was the very first Michael Myers mask I had ever seen, was from the TV ads from Halloween 4 way back in 1988 when the movie was first coming out. It was the first thing I ever saw of Michael Myers, and I thought it was freaky as hell. So maybe there's some nostalgia there. But let's look at certain things about it. It does have that very expressionless kind of look to it. There's not really any expression. It has the blacked out eyes. A lot of these Michael Myers masks now, they don't even bother to black the eyes out. And I think that's an important part of what made the original mask so good. I'm not even sure if it's a mask or they put makeup around the actor's eyes or whatever they do. Maybe somebody knows for sure what exactly they do. I know when I bought a Michael Myers mask for Halloween one year, it was a cheap one. It wasn't a very good one. I just put black makeup around my eyes, and that made it gave it that kind of illusion that the eyes are blacked out. But just saying. So I'm not exactly sure how they, or maybe it's just the way it's lit that makes it look like it's always blacked out. But I don't know. That's what I did, anyways, when I used the Michael Myers mask, and I think that's an important part of the look of the shape, is having those blacked out eyes. So yes, doesn't look anything like the original, and I do think the original Halloween 78 mask, that original mask, looks awesome. It looks freaky as hell. There's no better mask than that one. But man, the Halloween 4 mask, it still does it for me. It works. But anyways, Against All Odds Productions, the fried egg on Loomis's face is still moving position to this day. Is it? The Man in the Mask, I wish they kept it as an escape maniac after Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, I see. An escape maniac after Jamie Lee Curtis. There is a fine mesh that can be. I've seen the fine mesh, actually. I've seen some masks that have that. I'm just not sure what they used. I'm not sure, because I feel like you can see the eye in there. I don't know. Sometimes. If you see it in certain shots, it's like you can actually see the eye, and it almost looks like they just use black makeup. So they may or may not have done. I'm not sure. Where are we? Jamie's Nightmare. H4 was creepy shot. Yeah, the electric guy, creepy shot. Yeah. I think, sometimes it's how it's lit. There's definitely some shots in Halloween 4 where I thought the mask didn't look as good. especially the one where they used a different mask. I've never heard the real reasoning behind that. I don't know if that was just meant as an Easter egg to use the Ben Tramer mask. I don't know. For the eyes, black them right out, but still be able to see, though. Yeah. Anyways, so that's pretty good for now. Let's get into some interesting stuff here. Before we get to, it's almost 7 o'clock. I've almost been going on for an hour here, and I've only talked about my criticism so far. So let's get into some more interesting. I believe Joe mentioned this earlier in the chat. Do you guys know who is famous? His first movie was a Michael Myers movie. In fact, Halloween 2 is really the first Michael Myers movie, because in Halloween 1, the name Michael Myers is never even said once. So this person was in the very first Michael Myers movie, Halloween 2, 1981, and that was his first movie, and then was known for starring in movies with Mike Myers. Who could it be? Do you guys know who we're talking about here? Who has starred in movies with Mike Myers and been on Saturday Night Live with Mike Myers? That was the legendary... I think legendary is good. Dana Carvey has a cameo shot in Halloween 2. He's the assistant to the news reporter when they're dragging... what's her name's Annie's body out of the house. That is Dana Carvey with that hat and that jacket on, like one of those vest jacket things. I don't have one, but some people do. That is the great. I know it's hard to even tell, but if you look close enough, he doesn't really show you his full face. That's a young Dana Carvey, everyone. I think that's kind of a cool fact. I don't know. Did you guys know that? Did all you guys know that Dana Carvey, who's been starred in the Wayne's World movies with Mike Myers, got his start with Michael Myers? Coincidence? Yeah, coincidence, but it's kind of a cool little fact. Okay, I'll gotta get back to Unseen. Have a great rest of the show, Steve. I'll talk to you. Yeah, for sure, buddy. Thanks for working so hard on our movie, and I know you got lots of work to do still. But Joel Broussard, no, and I just watched it. He never knew that Dana, and he's in the credits. His name is in the end credits of the movie too. I remember always seeing that Dana Carvey. I wonder if that's Dana Carvey from Wayne's World and whatever else he's done. I know he's done other stuff, but you know him from Wayne's World and Saturday Night Live, and he's what was a Master of Disguise was a later film he did, but he kind of went out of the spotlight there for quite. I heard he had some health issues though. Yeah, just saying. Okay, so now I want to hear what is your guys' favorite parts of Halloween 2? I think for me, so you guys say in the chat what really draws you guys to Halloween 2 and what really kind of makes Halloween 2 gives it makes it one of the better sequels. For me, it's a lot of the suspense build up in the hospital, in the looking through all the hallways. Is Michael showing up there? There's a lot of build up in those scenes that to me were done very, very well. And I think that still makes the movie for me. I think the idea of just setting it in a hospital in general was a great idea. I think that was a great way to go with the sequel, especially if you are carrying it on from the first Halloween and you really want to follow Laurie. It's definitely not what I would have done. As far as if I was to do a sequel, I wouldn't have picked it up right after the events. I probably wouldn't have done that. But when you are doing it that way, I think the hospital setting was great, and it's not rehashing what they did in the first, right? So that kind of gives you a change of atmosphere, and it still gives you a really great atmosphere. Love the whole hospital setting. I think that, again, I think all that really makes the movie. Um, I like some of the newer characters too. I do like Lance Guest as Jimmy. Um, the guy who plays Bud. I don't know his actual name, Bud. He's pretty good. Um, yeah, and there were some good characters in that. Some of them were your typical dumb people, but uh, you're always, yeah. I mean, that was the beginning of the '80s slasher though too, right? So where that kind of stereotype started, that cliche that you're gonna have your dumb characters that make the dumb decisions. But anyways, the bathtub scene, the bath scene, or whatever, the hot tub scene, what was it? What do they call it there in the like the therapy tub or something like that, or they called it in the movie. So yeah, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. I also like the needle to the eye scene when the gal's going to get the Dr. Mixter, the doctor. Is he really the only doctor in that clinic? Like, it seems like a pretty big hospital, and they only have one doctor. There's a lot of nurses, and, but yeah, it seems kind of weird. There's only one doctor, but it's also night shift though too. So maybe that's a thing too. They don't. I don't know. Here in our hospital, we got lots of doctors at our hospital. But anyways, gotta have the jock and the bill. Yeah, exactly. Gotta have those characters, right? Let me see what else you guys are saying. A dead and dark hospital with graveyard stuff. Yeah, it's a great setting for a film. Great setting for a film. Ojo just said, it's been my pleasure, sir. Can't wait for people to see this. Cheers. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Halloween 2, the atmosphere, soundtrack, and the chase. Yeah. The soundtrack is basically the original soundtrack, though. I'll say that, but the instrumentation's been changed on it. I think that I think it's an interesting instrumentation on it, and it works within the context pretty well of the film on its own. But again, when you're watching how the first Halloween and then going into and trying them to all seem like a seamless film, it feels like you should have kept the same instrumentation. But if that's what that's if you're watching it that way, where you want to watch them all as one film, one big long film. So I mean, it just depends, I guess. But it does work. The instrumentation does work pretty well. It gives it a creepy new vibe, I guess, and that's what matters. I think that was when Alan Howarth came in, and I think he did that to the score. It was John Carpenter's score, but Alan Howarth came in and did that. New promotion, vintage films, Pupudas. I love the creepy voicemail from the killer of Unseen. Hey, I write good dialogue. If you have to admit. Thanks, buddy. Glad you liked the creepy voicemail from the killer in Unseen. Have we shown any creepy voicemails from? I'm trying to remember now. We have a voiceover. Maybe that's what you mean. We have a lot of voiceovers in our movie, because Adam Ginsberg was obviously not able to come to set and portray the unseen man physically. We had about a dozen different people portray the unseen man physically, but he did the voiceover after we did the movie, and he did a fantastic job. I'll say that much. Did a fantabulous job. I was hard on him though. I kept making him redo stuff, and I think I was on a podcast not too long ago with him, and we talked a little bit about, I kept coming back saying, I need you to redo this line and do this a little different and do more. I said more breathing. I needed more breathing. I think maybe that's another thing I took from inspiration from the first Halloween was the breathing. If you guys really notice that's another thing different from all the other Halloween movies. The breathing of the Shape in the first Halloween is much more prominent. Much more prominent. Way more prominent. I don't know if you even really noticed all the breathing. Like, there's that moment in the first Halloween where after Laurie got back in, Tommy led her back in the house, and he's like, go upstairs, and she grabs the poker needle thing, and you just, all of a sudden, you just hear, she turns off the light, and you just hear the breathing, and it's like, oh God, where she sees the windows open, where the hell is this guy? That was great, but the breathing let you know he's in the house, and I don't think they ever did that again. They never used the breathing like they did in that first movie. Just saying. I think it's great. And I love the way the breathing gets louder and louder and louder at the end of the first Halloween. We're going over those shots, all those iconic shots of the locations where Michael could be anywhere, or the Shape could be anywhere. It's brilliant. It's epic. Yeah. Anyways, well, what else do you guys love from Halloween 2? What are some of your favorite, most memorable parts of Halloween 2? And well, let me think of what else is good. I mean, I want to say I really like Loomis in Halloween 2, but I feel like I don't feel like he was better in the first Halloween. He's good, but he's a little bit more cartoony. I think that's when somebody mentioned earlier in the chat, Loomis seems drunk. He did seem like maybe he had a few drinks before each take. I don't know. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I'm not gonna say he did or didn't, but Donald Pleasence is gone now, and he made the role iconic. But I think I probably prefer his performance in Halloween 4 even over Halloween 2. But he was still good. I mean, he was still very Loomis. Man, that opening scene, though, I don't know. That is still the biggest gripe I have, I think. I've seen other people have different gripes with Halloween 2, and these things don't bother me as much. I think at the end of the day, certain things will bother certain people that won't bother, and we're all going to have different things that bother us more than others. I did see somebody posted a video that showed a bunch of continuity errors, and they're like, man, you really got to be looking for these continuity errors. One of them was when they do re-show the ending of Halloween 1, they show, it clearly shows that the stuntman is falling back and he's walking on some sort of plank or something like that. You can kind of see he's above the railing when he's walking back. That kind of thing doesn't really bother me too much. Another thing, I mean, I think he saw what's her name's pulse, the gal that played Annie, when showed her dead body for all of 5 seconds. You could see her pulse moving, and wow, that's a terrible dead body impression. I mean, geez, some people can't control their pulse. I mean, that to me is true nitpicking right there, for me. Another thing I remember, there's a door open in one scene, and the explosion at the end. If you look hard enough, the explosion, you can see like film gear, some sort of film gear being as the walls explode, kind of behind the walls. I don't know. I can't even tell for sure if it is film gear, but this guy's insistent that it's like film gear. I don't know. That to me is nitpicking, like really nitpicking. But man, that imprint in the grass, I don't feel like I'm nitpicking with that, because you would just never get that. Even if the guy was really, really bleeding, all like we're talking really bleeding, you still probably wouldn't really see that much, not that much, and it wouldn't be a perfect shape of a body. Just wouldn't be. You just wouldn't get that. That's just my opinion. Am I being nitpicky? You guys tell me. Oh my God! Let's see if you guys are saying any of this. Man in the Mask, the fish tank glow was creepy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Michael Myers, and he appeared in the, yeah, it was great. That's how you could tell Dean Cundy shot. He would have made that work. Again, it's similar to the shot in the first one where Michael comes out of the shadows, right? It's yeah. Are you talking about the safety wall at the? Yeah, I think so. The explosion at the end. I don't know. I think that whoever said that, I'd have to find the video, but to me that's nitpicking. To me it is. I mean, there's going to be a lot of different gear and stuff like that in a hospital. Lots of different types of equipment, and I can't tell for sure whether that's some sort of film gear or some, looking at that. I don't know. I personally can't. But anyways, guys, that's just my thoughts. I don't know. I think some people nitpick, but again, everybody has their different opinions on what bothers them more about certain films than not. I mean, I commend you for the person for finding some of these continuity errors, because I mean, I would never pick them out. I think it was the Ben Tramer scene before he gets hit by the car and Loomis is running after him. And I think there was one shot, the car that they came out of, the door was closed, and then the next shot, the door was open, something like that, or vice versa. Something like that. I mean, these continuity things are going to happen. And to me, that's just not a very big deal. To me, it's not. If that's the worst thing about the movie, and it's a pretty awesome movie in my opinion. The voicemail I received for, oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Yes, Pupo got the perk to have a creepy voiceover from Adam Ginsberg. So, and you customize creepy voiceover from Adam Ginsberg, and he got that. So that's pretty awesome. What does Jess here say? Loomis was making a move on the lady doctor. Maybe. I don't know. Did it come across that way? I don't know. I wouldn't say it ever came across that way to me, but I could see people saying that. Anyways, guys. Yeah, it's 7:15. I think we can probably call it a show. Hey. As long as I'm over an hour, I always try to keep these somewhere between an hour and hour and a half. I have gone longer, but usually when I have guests on, I'm talking by myself. An hour or so is pretty good. So, anyways, but share your thoughts. I hope I didn't sound like I was hating on the film. It's easy for me to point out things that bother me, though. I think that's one thing that I've always been able to pick out things that bother me more so than things that I really like. But I do really like Halloween 1981. I don't like Halloween 2 2009. I don't like that one, but I do really like and boy, I could go into some stuff I hate about Halloween 2 2009 for sure, but had a great time. Thank you, Teresa. I'm glad you tuned in and had a great time chatting about this. In Halloween 2, my favorite is the last intense shot in Loomis and Michael in the last bloody encounter. I don't know how bloody it is, but it's an encounter, that's for sure. It's explosive encounter, and there probably would be blood if you saw it, but you just saw a big explosion and stuff. Yeah. But good times and enjoying rewatching H2 and catching up. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I had a great time chatting with you guys tonight. This is the 4th show I think I've done this year. Hey, that means it's 4 times as many shows as I did last year, because I only did one I'm getting back into it, guys. I'm slowly getting back into doing this show. I really like doing this show. This is episode 86, but the bulk of the show was done in 2021 and 2022. Uh, 2023 wasn't too bad, I don't think. But yeah, I think most of the show, bulk of the show was those 2 years, 21 and 22. 24 was my worst. So let's not have another 2024 again. We have to do more of this show. I like doing it. I'll try to get some more guests on because I like having guests too. But I like just chatting up with you guys. So I'll finish you guys' chats here. Pupadas says, a great chat. Enjoyed it a lot. Glad you did. Dan says, thanks for your time. Good night, Steve and everyone. I hope all goes well with Unseen. Thanks so much, Dan. I'm really glad that things have gone as well as they have. That's for sure. And Teresa Gobb, keep it up. Thank you guys all. I'm so glad you guys tuned in tonight, and it was a great show. Had a lot of fun chatting with you guys. Some parts were better than others. That's just the way it works sometimes. Can never be totally consistent on how good I am at this, but especially when I don't do it often. I used to do this show like once a week. Once a week to once every 2 weeks, and now it's like if I get once a month, I'm lucky. But yeah, it's show number 4 this year, so we'll make sure we definitely get number 5 in soon enough, and hope, you never know, maybe we'll hit 100 episodes by the end of the year. Maybe. We're at episode 86, so it's 13 more episodes, 14 more whatever to get to 100. Anyways, thank you all. I'm glad you had a good time. I had a wonderful time. Y'all have a good weekend. See ya.